here with Fearless Eating, and today I'm going to show you how to make homemade sauerkraut, one of the simplest fermented vegetables to make at home. I call it the gateway fermented vegetable because once you start making it and see how easy it is, you're going to want to learn how to make other fermented vegetables as well. So basically sauerkraut is 2 ingredients. It's just cabbage and salt. A common third ingredient is whey, and whey is often added as a little bit of a starter culture to make the fermentation process a little more consistent. But if you don't have whey, not a big deal. You don't have to use it. So it's basically, sauerkraut's basically a 2-step process. Step 1 is chopping up the cabbage and salting it. And step 2 is then packing it into jars. So I've already done step 1 here. And when you are slicing the cabbage, kind of however you like to do it, it doesn't really matter. Basically, cut the cabbage down the middle, core it, and then cut it into strips any size you like. It doesn't really matter. I like kind of, as you can see, more kind of medium-sized strips. I don't like it too thin and stringy. So when you chop it, you're going to salt it and put it into bowls as you chop it. About 1 to 3 tablespoons of salt per medium head of cabbage. I like usually more 2 to 3 tablespoon end of the spectrum. I do like a little extra saltiness to my sauerkraut. And when you salt it, there's 2 ways you can salt it. And I have 2 different ways here. I'm going to show you the 2 different ways this will result in packing it into jars. So over here what I've done is I've pre-salted the cabbage. And so I did this actually this morning about 5 hours ago. And when you pre-salt it, now again you have to kind of think ahead and remember to do this. When you pre-salt it and let it sit at room temperature, the salt's going to withdraw the water out of the cabbage. It's going to make it very, very simple to pack into the jars. If you don't think ahead and you don't remember, you can just salt it as you go. And I just salted this one literally just a minute ago. And it's going to take a little bit more muscle work and energy to pack it into the jars, which is not a big deal. It's not like right or wrong either way. But generally speaking, I like to pre-salt it because you're going to see I'm going to take the camera and I'm going to give you a close-up and I'm going to do both of them side by side. And you're going to see how much easier pre-salting it is. And that's step 2. So I'm going to take the camera, give you a close-up, and show you how to pack the cabbage into the jar. So that's coming right up. Okay, so we're ready to press the cabbage into the jars here. So I want to show you my great little kitchen instrument I have for this. This is actually a pastry maker. If I turn it around, you can see it's kind of wider or larger on one end than the other. This is a great tool for packing sauerkraut into jars. You can use kind of whatever tool you have in your kitchen with kind of a blunted end. There's actually like sauerkraut pounders you can get on Amazon, but I love this little thing. It's so perfect for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with, let's see if I can rearrange this a little bit. I'll start with the unsalted sauerkraut first. So it's all salted, right? And I'm going to start taking it. And handful by handful, and then I'm going to start pressing it. And as you can see, it takes a little muscle work, and I'll kind of switch ends, to kind of get it going. But if I keep going, and I'm just persistent with it, the water starts coming out of it. And that's what we're doing. What we're doing is we're trying to press all the water out of the cabbage, and so that the level of the liquid of the water is going to start rising above the cabbage, and that's what's going to, that salty brine is what's going to make the proper environment for the fermentation to happen. It's what's going to keep out bad bacteria and allow the proliferation of good bacteria and allow the fermentation process to happen. So you just have to be persistent with it. It'll take me, maybe 5 minutes or so per jar with this method. Now, watch this. Now I'm going to take the pre-salted cabbage, put some in here, and watch how much easier this happens. It just goes a lot quicker. The water really comes out a lot easier and a lot faster. So you don't have to spend as much time packing it into the jars. Now again, it's not that big of a deal. It's not like this way is better than the other. It's just that, you know, I just think this method goes quicker. It saves me time. The only thing is you gotta like think ahead, you know? You gotta think, well, if I'm making sauerkraut today, I gotta remember to pre-salt it in the morning. So you can really see that water starting to come out. Can you see that? Yeah, that's a good close-up. How quickly that starts to come out. There it is. All that water starts coming out a lot more efficiently. And it just requires, it's just a little less time, that's all. You know, if you do it with the other way without pre-salting it, your arm will get a little bit tired. Especially if you're doing like multiple jars, like you're doing, you know, I always think you should, you know, do more than one little, this is just one little tiny little jar. Usually I use a lot bigger jars, and I'll do like, you know, 2 to 3, sometimes 4 to 5 jars at once. And you can see that water really coming out now. That's great. And I just like to do bigger batches because, you know, this will last a long time in the fridge. This will last you a good, you know, it'll last good 5-6 months. So as you can see, this is happening, you know, it's just a few minutes. And maybe just like one more handful here, and this is going to be done. Let's see that. And very important is that to leave a little bit of space between the top of the liquid and the top of the jar. It will expand a little bit in the fermentation process, and if you pack it too tight to the top, it can actually explode the jar. So we don't want that to happen. So look how easy that was. That's just about done. I think I'll leave it right about there. Yeah. I think that's good. I could probably put a little bit more in, but you know, I think that's a good visual. And basically I'm just going to take the top, put it right on, and that's it. And so I'm going to leave this on the counter for about at least 3 days. Now, you know, you can go a lot longer. Keep in mind, people historically used to keep, before refrigeration, we used to put these in their root cellars all winter. So if you have a cool place in your house, you can certainly keep it out a lot longer. If it's, you know, winter, it might take it longer than 3 days. You'll know when it's ready. You just kind of pop it open and taste a little bit, and you'll know when it tastes like sauerkraut. So that's how simple it is. So that's how to make homemade sauerkraut. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something, and happy fermenting.